welcome to Sweet Tea and Butterflies. Today we're making a gorgeous mason jar Christmas centerpiece. This is probably one of my favorite ones that I did. I found this mason jar set and fell in love with it. They only had 3 of them and I bought all 3 of these. It is just totally in our wheelhouse, the farmhouse, country looking, and it's just absolutely gorgeous piece. I love it. I hope you love the centerpiece that we made out of it as well. Let me know in the comments after you've watched and get to the final reveal. Let me know in the comments if you love it as much as I do. So here I was trying to find the best way to do the floral moss or the floral foam, and then I wanted to also do moss around because I didn't want any of the stems of the floral showing in the mason jar. So I was playing around with this trying to figure out the best way to make this work. So you'll see the little bit of a struggle I had there. My first thought was to glue a little bit on the floral foam before I stuck it down in there. And that didn't work as well as I had hoped. So I just kept playing around with it till I found a method that worked for this. So I figured I'd leave the struggle in there for y'all because, hey, we all run into struggles, right? That's part of crafting. So I just used a skewer to hold that where I could poke it down in there. And then I took the moss and this little spatula and just kept shifting it in there until I got it where I needed it. So it covered up the floral foam and everything. It took a little bit of doing and a little bit of time, but I got it there. I chose to use, I think I used a mixture of the reindeer moss and the Spanish moss. I wanted some of the green in there from the reindeer moss, but I also wanted some of the brownish tones from the Spanish moss as well. So I kind of did a blend of them in there. If you like the content that we're putting out, please like, subscribe, share, comment. We'd really love to hear what you think of the content we're putting out, and we'd love suggestions too. If there's anybody who's been doing YouTube longer than we have that's watching our videos, feel free to give us pointers in the comments, because I'm new at this and you know, I'm learning a little bit each day, even though I watch I watch a bunch of the YouTubers that do DIYs and whatnot, just to kind of get ideas on how to best do the videos. With this one, most of the videos I've got right now, we had taken several weekends and gone and crafted. So I just set up the camera and started recording as we were crafting. But we're happy to have any pointers, any ideas of what you want to see. Feel free to comment. I'd love to hear your suggestions. Here I'm taking and putting this ribbon around the top there to kind of give the jar a little bit of festive feel there. I also made some little bows to put on there. So you get to watch me struggle with the bows again. I'm I'm telling you, I don't think I can do it right the first time. I always struggle with it. And this particular ribbon, I don't think was being very cooperative in doing the bow the way I wanted. And it's a one-sided design ribbon, so it wasn't coming out the way I needed it to. So I had to pivot and try a different method there. So I just took and made a loop. And then used, and took and made kind of a, oh, I'm making all the loops for the ribbons there. The first bow this way is a little bit of a struggle as I was fooling around with it to get my tails, but the next two went a little bit smoother after I figured it out. It's the way it usually goes, right? Struggle is real, for sure. I took a little bit of red and white baker's twine, pinched those in the middle, tied them nice and tight, and then snipped off the ends. So, how many of you struggle with the bows as well? I'd love to for you to comment and let me know that I'm not alone in this struggle. Usually I hand off, if Dee Dee's with me, I'll usually hand off bows to her because she spent years making bows. But I think during our crafting weekend I decided I was gonna do the struggle and just get the bows down myself, one way or another. So that's what I did. I don't know why I chose to leave all of the content in here. You didn't need to actually see me make all 3 bows. One would have done the trick. But as I said, kind of new at this, so I'm learning as I go. We would love for you to follow us on our social media. We're on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook. It's Sweet Tea and Butterflies. So please feel free to hop on over and follow us on our social media too. We've also got a group page, a group crafting page on our website that we provide content on too, and it's just for everybody getting together, you know, that share like-minded crafting and whatnot to get on there and just kind of, you know, give ideas, share content, share ideas. We'd love for you to hop on over and become a member on there and give us your feedback there too, or post some of your ideas, some of your craft projects. We'd love to build a nice community that's not necessarily always on Facebook. Here I'm doing the other 2 jars, wrapping that around. Somewhere in there I'll get to making the tails for the bows. I think I've always got to be backwards about everything, right? I think with this one it was a matter of figure out what I'm going to do for the, with the first one, and then move along down the line. So here is, I'm taking and doing kind of an awareness ribbon type, not quite, I'm scrunching it up and I glue it in place to make the tails, and then I'll glue the bow part on top of it. As you'll see here, I'm kind of playing with it. Realize I've got to do something with that point because it's sticking up above. And if I move the bow up too much, it would look funny. So, like I said, struggle is real. Dovetailing the ends there. And we'll glue it together. Oh, I'm floating fire to seal it so it doesn't fray. Here's where I realized that I needed to glue in one more spot on there because it was popping loose. And there we have a cute little bow. It was a struggle, but we got there. The other ones go a little bit quicker since once I figured out what I needed to do. And y'all, if you're working with hot glue, don't forget to wear finger protectors. That hot glue is really, really hot. I see posts all the time about crafters being able to get away with murder because they don't have any fingerprints left. The struggle is real with that too. Now that I've got all the ribbon and the bows and all that, Now it's time to play with the florals. This is something that my granddaughter, or both my granddaughters, usually enjoy helping me with when I'm doing florals. But they weren't with us that weekend. We didn't take them with us on the weekends because my son only gets the girls on the Wednesday through Sunday, so sometimes I'll get them one night out of that over the weekend, but I try not to take away from his time with the girls too much either, and I wasn't going to take off a whole weekend with them. And here's where see, the creative process. I never have a dead set vision for what I'm going to do when I'm doing florals. I just pull out a bunch of the flowers I have and start pulling them out and playing with them, put them here and there, and sometimes I pull stuff out and leave it out. Sometimes I'll just move it around in there. That's kind of how I discovered that Avery kind of had a talent for this. She's kind of a natural at crafting and being creative too. When she was about 3, we had a brick and mortar shop, and I babysat while her parents worked. So she was in the store with me all the time, and when I was crafting, especially when I was doing floral arrangements or doing lantern swags, she would be sitting there watching me, and she's like, no, Grandma, try it over here. Try that one here, and it usually worked out. She just kind of had an eye for it. And that was at 3 years old. Now she's even, she's developed her skills even more. So we do this because we enjoy it, but I do the business part of it not only to pay for our crafting habit, but because I want to pass this along to, the next generation, to, the value of making something yourself, and the specialness of a handmade gift. Is going to be a handmade gift is going to be so much more appreciated by the recipient than the typical store-bought gift. 90% of my Christmas, is I give handmade gifts to my kids and my granddaughters. And around Christmas time, I'll get them over, a couple of weekends, and I'll sit down with them and we make their Christmas gifts for their parents. So so that ends up being it gives them the feeling of what is the word I'm looking for? Here I go again, losing my words. Accomplishment. That's the word. But it also makes them feel, special, because they know that they've made a special gift that would be more treasured than if we went to the store and bought some random thing. So I think that's a good thing to pass on, because, sometimes we all hit hard times, and it's not easy to be able to go to the store and buy a bunch of gifts and stuff for people. But you can definitely, take a few supplies and turn it into something spectacular and give it as a handmade gift that will be treasured more so than if they had bought it at the store anyway. I took these little picks that I had, and I wanted to incorporate those in there too, but they weren't long enough, so I just glued a skewer to the stem to make, extend it a little bit so I could poke it down in the jar and it actually stay in there without sinking into the jar. Sorry about the view, y'all. I've got, I guess I didn't realize that I had the camera so close. It was fine when I was making the bows and everything, but I forgot to move it further away so you could see fully what I was doing with the florals. I don't know if I catch on at all and move it. I may have, but I doubt it. Usually we would just hit record and just keep recording as we were crafting, so I was probably completely oblivious that the view wasn't the greatest there. But you can still kind of see what I'm doing, and here's the final reveal there. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment.